Hiya, so welcome back to another video. Welcome to another new setting. It's very exciting, isn't it? You're basically getting a house tour. So I wanted today to talk a bit about the recovery board game that I spoke about in a video called something like how to distinguish between the healthy voice and the eating disorder voice, and I got some sort of feedback about it, and some people found the idea of the recovery board game quite helpful, so I thought I would do a whole video on it. Not because of a lack of ideas, I've got many, but I thought if there's something people might find helpful, it might be something I can talk about a bit more. So let's crack right into it. Sorry if I'm moving about a bit, it's quite fun being on a spinny chair. Haven't been on one in ages, so I'll try not to spin too much, but it's quite enjoyable and I might get a bit dizzy. So, the first thing is to explain what it is. That might help. If you haven't seen my other video, I do explain it a bit there, but actually, do you know what? Don't bother about watching that. I'm going to explain it all in this video. So, it's basically every decision that you make is like you're on a board game, and you either get a card that says go forward, you have a choice that says go forward, stay where you are, or you move back. So say you're choosing your snack, say you're choosing an afternoon snack, you might usually have a cereal bar, that might be what's agreed in your meal plan. You might have a cereal bar, that might be you stay where you are. To take a step forward in the game, you might challenge a fear food. You might have, what was a fear food of mine? Something like a chocolate brownie. But a step back might be something that's a bit of a cop-out snack, not a full snack, maybe just like, I don't know, a pear. I don't know, it's all dependent. It's hard to do examples because everyone is everyone's recovery is so different, so you've really got to look at it from your own perspective and not just use what I'm saying as a guide, because everyone's different. Because a brownie might be what you usually have as a snack, and you might have something else that might help you step forward, something else, a cereal bar might make you step back. It's completely sort of subjective, I think that's the word. I'm not too sure, look that up, if not edit it out. It's completely down to your own recovery. So this is where you either need to talk to someone about it, or like someone in your support team or your parents or whatever, and go, okay, what would be seen as a step forward, what would be seen as a step back? It may sound a bit extra, but you might decide to create like little cards for what would be a step forward. Don't do it for step back, because we shouldn't really be inspired to do that, and shouldn't really maybe not be inspired to stay where you are, because that's sort of what you're used to. But maybe create little cards or little piece of paper that give you step forward ideas. Maybe if you're feeling a bit sort of undecided, and you get that thing where you look and you're like, okay, I'm going to step forward, but what do I choose? I'm in a bit of like a food coma. I'm like, and you just pause and you're just looking at the fridge. You don't want that, so maybe just have a sort of list of things that you have in the house and choose one, or speak to, say, your mum if she's helpful, or your dad or whatever, speak to them about it, get some advice on what you think might be a step forward if it's a bit too challenging in your head. So another example for me, just to help you maybe get an idea of my sort of step forward, stay where you are, step back things. So I might be going for a coffee, step forward might be a latte with syrup, like a caramel latte. Normal would be a latte, which is what I usually have, and step back would be like a Americano, which I wouldn't usually. I'll tell you what, in those coffee shops I would not pay the amount that it costs for an Americano. It's absolutely ridiculous. The latte, yeah, it's worth it, but an Americano is 10p less and tastes like £2 worse. Does that even make sense? I don't think so, but it's just not as nice. It's not worth the money. Life lessons. But latte, that would be still the same, step back. And in that moment, the idea is, in that moment you think, okay, in my recovery, do I want to take a step forward, or do I want to stay where I am, or do I want to step back? If you're wanting to step back, then you've really got to address that with someone. Talk to someone in your treatment team about why you're not wanting to step forward in recovery. if you stay where you are, I can understand it. I get that quite a lot. I think, do you know what? Maybe I had like a challenging breakfast, or I had something else challenging in the day. So do you know what? Here, I have stepped forward already today. I'm planning to do a challenge. I'm going to step forward. I'm going to stay where I am for this meal, even if you're not feeling brave. The step forward is brilliant. When you're choosing to step forward in recovery, you're making all the right decisions there, and I'm proud of you for choosing those step forwards. It's the only way you're going to get to the end goal, because realistically that's what it is. There is an end point. There is full recovery. Full recovery is possible. It's just having to keep making those step forward decisions. If you're always making those stay where you are decisions, you're not going to get anywhere. Take step back decisions, it's going to take a whole lot longer, and you're going to have to do step forward decisions, more step forward decisions to get there. So I think it's a really good way of looking at it, in the way that you started your recovery here, you end your recovery here. I hope you can see both sides. I'm not sure how wide this camera. You start your recovery here, you end your recovery here, and each time you're doing step forward, step forward, step forward. So if you're stepping forward every day, you're making step forward decisions every day, you're going to be at full recovery so much quicker. I realise that's the wrong way for you, isn't it? But anyway, your board game starts here and ends here, seemingly. So if you're making step forward decisions so regularly, you're going to be fully recovered quicker. If you're choosing to make no progress, we made a step forward and then you make a step back and then you step forward and then you step back, you're not getting any much closer. So if you're making a step forward, you've got to continue to step forward. And honestly, I think this has been really helpful in my recovery, because sometimes I'll just be a bit of a bleh, and I won't really know what to do, and I'll be a bit, should I have this, should I have this, should I have this, and then I just put them into the 3 categories. If I have a choice of 3, maybe I have a choice of 2, I just put it into the categories. Okay, will this help me step forward? Will this stay around, or will it step back? I place them and I go, okay, I want to step forward. If it's a step back, rule it out completely, rule it out. If anything you're putting into the category of stepping back, you rule it out, don't even consider it. Stay where you are, maybe sometimes you do have it. I'm not expecting every meal, snack, drink to be a challenge, but you've got to realise that those are the things that are going to keep you where you are. The things that are really going to push you forward are those big things. Do you know what? I'm going to add a new category. I've just come up with it. Sometimes you can have 2 steps forward. You might have a category and go, okay, there's a brownie there, that's a step forward, but there's a brownie and ice cream, that's 2 steps forward. You make as many steps as you want. Maybe if you didn't have something, that's 3 steps back. That's loads of steps back for me. Big old 3 leaps back at least. So you categorise it however you want, but it's just the idea of getting you closer to the end point, and each decision does make a difference, and it may not seem like it. I mean, you go, just have that, it won't make a difference, blah blah blah. But actually, it does. In the run, it does make a big difference. So that is the recovery board game. I hope that you find it really helpful in your recovery. I did get some good feedback on it, so I assume it's quite helpful. It's been helpful for me, but everyone's recovery is different, so if it's going to be helpful for you, use it. If you don't think it's helpful for you, don't use it. I'm not going to make you. I'm sorry about the squeaky chair. Oh, it's not squeaking yet, it is. Sorry about that. Sorry, I hope it wasn't too annoying. So, thank you very much for watching. I will speak to you soon. This is a pretty quick video after my last one, isn't it? Impressed. New Year's resolutions going. Whoop whoop. Well done, me. And I think I've got a roast dinner on the go, so I'm looking forward to that. Smelling good. And see you next time. Goodbye.